checked by her what I wrote. इधर से कर सकते हैं ना? Anything? I to press? Okay. Uh, uh, hello. Clear? Uh, good morning, Professor Rangan Banerjee, Director IIT, for whom we are waiting. Professor PVM Rao, Dean Alumni Affairs. Good morning to all the professors of our batches who are gracing the occasion today. I hope some professors had come. They'll come. Okay, there I see. I thought they'll come here also. Good morning to 1968 and 1969 batchmates and their families, and all those who are present in the Senate room to celebrate this special occasion. Good morning to all those who are watching this historical event live, except for our friends who are situated in North America. But that's not good morning. I request everyone present in the Senate room to put their mobiles on silent mode. So I think I should also put like that. Okay. Our journey, which started at the institute in 1963 or 64, is still fresh in our minds and makes us nostalgic whenever we visit the alma mater. I would like to share what makes our alma mater a great center of education. Number one, in 2018, IIT Delhi was recognized as the Institute of Eminence by the Government of India. Number two, IIT Delhi has opened a campus in Abu Dhabi with state-of-art facilities. I understand that application for undergraduate program will be opened this month. Again, a historic moment for the institute. I would love to visit the campus whenever I go to UAE as a tourist. Number three, US University ranking Asia 2025 were released recently. IIT Delhi is on the national top spot. That means it is a national leader in education. Once again, a historic month for the institute. Ever since it started as a College of Engineering and Technology in 1961 and became an IIT in 1963, the institute have been providing excellent education as well as facilities for extracurricular activities and sports. But during our time, some different type kind of entertainment was provided by the institute. Every Wednesday, we used to assemble in our hostel common room to listen to Binaka Geet Mala on the radio. On the radio, which are tubes, not transistor, and green magic eye for tuning. Some of us, including me, used to bet on which song will top today. The betting was for a bottle of Coca-Cola costing 25 paisa, a big amount that time. Also, every Friday night, we used to see Hindi or English movie in an open ground near the hostels. Okay, thanks to all. Now we'll hand over the charge to Director and the Dean Alumni Affairs. Afterwards, I'll continue as the coordinator for 1968 batches. Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks once again. I think thanks for making it your alma mater. As it was said, institute is doing well because foundations were very strong. And I think those foundations came from the first few batches which graduated. And I think that culture, that legacy always helps us to build the institute. And I will do. So what I'll do is I'll just, can you, Ankita, presentation sheet? So I'll just give a little bit key how IIT has changed over the years. I'm also seeing that some people have come after very long years and they are meeting after 56 years, some of their colleagues. So I know it's not one generation, it is multiple generations, but I'll just give a little bit about it. So welcome to newcomers. This thing. Can you start the presentation? अच्छा इधर करना है क्या? क्यों? उधर से नहीं है. चलो ठीक. अब इधर है. नहीं ठीक है. This is okay. Yeah. So you'll see a very different campus today when you walk around. It's it's a very different. And one of the things which you see that most of the blocks now have solar panels. So we also generate 5 megawatts of electricity for our own in-house consumption, and depending less on the external sources kind of a thing. Please come. Good morning, sir. Please come. Pleasure, pleasure. We are about to start a presentation, so please, right time, sir, please come. Yes, sir. Okay, so I think as it was mentioned, IIT Delhi is a institute of eminence. It became a few years back, and we have been doing very well in terms of ranking. If you really look at the left side, these are different rankings on which institutes are judged nationally. So we have been like one or two. It is like Amin Sayan is Kabhi Bada number one to Kabhi Bada number two kind of a thing. But I think तीसरे number पे नहीं गए हैं. So that is a good thing. And internationally also, earlier IIT Delhi never used to feature in ranking. Then we came in top 200. Now in science, engineering and technology, we are 45th in the world, which is there. So it has improved considerably. Employability rankings, we are 27th in the world. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, we are currently 29th in the world, which is there. So world rankings have also improved. And on the right, you'll see most of the departments to which you belong have also are now in the top 100, like chemical, civil, computer science, electrical, mechanical. Textile is ranked under material science. So that is why you see material science also here as a part of this thing. So these are now world also ranks departments other than the institutes globally. So these are the global departmental rankings. QS, these are all QS. Right side and right side are all QS. In the local. So what happens is there are 4 or 5 ranking. In some cases, it's either IIT Madras or IIT Bombay. Okay. These are the only 2 competitors for us. Which are there.
You can rank one in the second one.
Ah,
Rank one in the India today.
India Today. India Today, we are 1. Outlook also carries. the week also carries. NIRF is the national rankings, which is, that is IIT Madras is number one. But in all international rankings, we are number one. The moment we come to national, sometimes we go to number two. Yeah. All disciplines. These are world university ranks. This is not. So the 45th is for all the universities which have science, engineering, and technology. It may be university like Stanford or Harvard, but they are also ranked because they have science, engineering, and tech. Would help. I will do that. I think that is one thing where IITs are very modest, particularly in terms of telling the world that we are also doing that. So this is what said ki this was news on last week. So QS also released the Asia rankings, and Bombay was top for last 2 years. This year we moved to the top position in QS rankings. So this is where Institute today, it is actually touching 13,000 students, which is now it's like a mini campus or a township, which is there. And other thing which you will also see is that undergraduate students are now 40%. 60% is postgraduate students. The PhD program has grown very big. We have 3,800 PhD students on the campus. So that's why the research profiles and rankings are also improving. And we have 62,000 alumni now because now the number of alumni who are added every year is also increasing very rapidly. And currently we are about 625 faculty, and we are also improving that, recruiting more faculty. Foreign students, we do have, but the numbers are not very large. Both foreign students and faculty, we want to have, but the government thinks that when there are millions are not able to get into IIT Delhi, if you can accommodate more foreign students, why not more Indian students?
And Abu Dhabi faculty from here or from
Yeah.
local?
So I'll come to Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is a campus. It is not a IIT campus. It's an IIT Delhi campus. First thing. In fact, government proposed IIT. They said we don't want IIT. We want IIT Delhi campus. It was very clear. And no, it will be more or less same. It's a static now. Over the years, it is. It will not go down. It is.
Persons.
In fact, we have also started few new
going on in
UG programs,
right now
so it has
for
slightly
language
improved.
research.
Which is there.
This one. Okay.
So Abu Dhabi is completely funded by UAE
Oh, you want to take
government.
your video?
And
Yeah.
we have started one
there.
PG and 2 UG programs already.
This is it.
And it is operational.
Which
So
we made.
I'll also use this forum to invite all of you to come to IIT Abu Dhabi campus. So currently there are about dozen faculty. They have all gone from here. There is nobody who is recruited there. So it's an IIT Delhi campus. So people would be moving here and there. And as we increase our faculty here, some of them will be secondment there. So one of the things which is very clear, which Abu Dhabi government wants, that we don't want a second-rated institute there. We want the same IIT Delhi type of a. Even the students who are appearing in JEE Advanced can take and they are given admission in Abu Dhabi campus. So we also recruit some local people, but we also take students from the JEE who go to the IIT Abu Dhabi, and they wanted that because they want the same type of students should be there when they study. And
UAE people also come for undergraduate.
UAE people means? So what happens is not here in the Abu Dhabi campus, a percentage of students are Emiratis. A major percentage is from JEE, and it is also open for international students. For example, Indian population in UAE is more than 55%. And even they are eligible. So it's in a way you are also serving your Indian population who are settled abroad also to do that. क्या हो रहा है? क्यों वो स्लाइड नहीं है
स्लाइड में
हाँ तो उसमें ओपन कर ये तो ऑलरेडी ओपन है तो उससे कबलिंग क्या करेगी
अच्छा
Yeah, please, sir, we can also. Yeah, please, questions we can do always. कहाँ है वो? इधर ही होना चाहिए
वो माइक ऑन कर देता
कबली ना
Okay, now, okay. Dean Rao, the question I have is that even though IIT alumni all around the world have been doing well, and I'm talking not just of Delhi, but IITs
all
as a group. But the fact also remains that in terms of the international standings, even among the engineering colleges, etc., like you mentioned, they're really not among the top. They are not among the top 10, top 5 or anything like that. They are way down. And if you talk of it as a composite institute with multitude of disciplines, we are not even in the top 100. What exactly is holding back? What can be done? I mean, China, let's say 15 years ago, 20 years ago, had no place in there. And now they have 2 of the top 20 globally. Why can't we do that? Why can't IITs are doing well, but why can't they be doing even better?
Yeah, so I think for example, there are two parameters, international students and international faculty, where we score 0. We
Yes.
actually score 0 on the ranking. So that means because the idea is ki unless the government gives us enough, with Abu Dhabi campus, etc., it may increase. But till that happens, so when you say others are ranked in 100 and you are ranked in 85, it is not the same kind of a thing.
Mm.
So because the government also has a pressure to give opportunities to more students to study in IITs. So they have to decide whether they have to open the campus for international students or give more opportunity to our own students. Correct. So this is a slightly different. So rankings are not truly only academic. Academic content is a small part of it. So there are many other parameters which are there. So that is why, but I think it's improving. So we were not there in top 200, particularly science and engineering. We came into 150, 100. So now, first time we came in top 15 science and engineering. Globally, we are in top 150, but not in top 200, not in top 100 as a university. So if you take the QS university ranking as a whole, so we are in top 150 this year.
But in terms of the financial situation and the model which you have,
And
is
also,
that a viable model?
it's also one of the things. I'll just give the two universities which you mentioned in China. Their budget is same as the budget of entire higher education in India.
And I think one is in Singapore also. One of them.
NUS and NTU. So now that's something which is very different we are speaking. So the international students budget, if you look at those constraints, IITs I think have done very well in my opinion. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. So research ranking, if you see, even in the top, all the universities, if you leave the international students and faculty, take only the research parameters, we are in top 50. Just the research parameter. There are many. So, for example, uh, nanotechnology is one area where IIT Delhi has very well. Uh, the biological sciences and bioengineering is another area where they have done. Computer science is very big. Climate, energy, and sustainability is another area. So these are some of the areas where we have large number of faculty also. Foreign faculty, also there are issues which are related to government has certain restriction on what salaries you can give. If you want to have the best in the world, also more to US. Yeah, but anyhow, I think we being in a federal system has both plus and minus, which is there. So these are some of the academic entities we have. Now we have 16 department, 11 centers and school. We have BTech. We also have a Bachelor of Design, which is a new program where students come to study 4-year Bachelor of Design. Apart from MTech, we also have MDes, MSc, MBA, Master of Public Policy, MS by Research, and we have one MA program also in Social Sciences and Humanities, which is there, and the PhD program. Can you elaborate on the policies? So I think most of the major universities do offer a program in public policy, and particularly those institutes which are located in capitals of the countries, you will find more. And these public policy students, they come from various undergraduate backgrounds, but they have to write an entrance, and then they are actually taken to, like some people specialize in healthcare policies, some would look at agri policies, and then they also do internship with the government, ministries, etc. And also become more of like major institutes need policy researchers and policy experts, so they fill that gap.
I understand you have a lot of short-term courses also.
Short-term courses continuously keep going. So that is one of the centers still there. It is called SCARE, Center for Applied Research in Electronics. Is one of the centers which is, yeah, it is still there. It is there. Only thing is, uska thoda name may have changed, but it is still there. Huh? So schools we have, one of them is School of Biological Sciences, and another is Khosla School of Information Technology. Schools are all mostly endowed by somebody. Bharati School of Communication Technology, then School of Public Policy, and fifth is Yardi School of Artificial Intelligence. Yardi is somebody from 60s who funded this program or kind of. Yeah. Mhm. That is now starting. That is now starting. In fact, two of our faculty, one of our uh, professor of practice and guest faculty are also IAS officers, retired. So this is how the infrastructure would look. A lot of new buildings and hostels, which you'll see during the tour. So on the top left is a new research and innovation park, where we have a joint labs with industries and other organizations, number of them. There is a new lecture hall complex. One of our alumni also gave a sports complex, which is called Mittal Sports Complex. So we have one of the best indoor facilities now in Delhi because of this donation from Saurabh Mittal, who was also founder of India Bulls at one time, who is now based in Singapore. Then what you see on the bottom is two hostels adjacent to each other. These are the new air-conditioned hostels. One of them is a boys' hostel and another is a girls' hostel. No, bottom right. Two buildings. One of them is a boys and another is a girls' hostel. They are connected. They are very much connected. They have the common mess. They have a common facilities, except living area. Rest of the things are all common.
And some controls are also there.
Right now, we are giving it to PG students. Yeah. So we are also now expanding a little beyond, IIT, because space is a major constraint here. We have exceeded all the space which is available on house cars for us. And we can't go vertical because we are on the landing zone. We can only go ground +7. And in some places, they don't allow us to go down because we have a metro below the campus running. So we are constrained from all the sides. So we got 50 acres in Sonipat and 50 in Jhajjar in Haryana. So Jhajjar is still to be built, but Sonipat we have built about 10 acres. So some high-end research facilities, some drone testing facility, atmospheric observatory, which all require large spaces. People go and do the research there. So it's like we have a bus which goes in the morning and brings people back in the evening. So people can
All the way from Sonipat.
all the way from Sonipat. Sonipat is about I think it's about 50 kilometers from. Huh? So that is why this bus leaves little early, around 7 a.m. or so, and brings after 7 p.m. to avoid the traffic. Because if you go in the morning, it is little more than 1 hour. But if you go in the traffic, it's like 2.5 hours.
Why can't we have some hostel facility and the
Oh, that is
total-
also there. That
And-
is also there. So people who go, if you want to stay for 3 days, there
Yeah,
is accommodation.
But the permanent, there can be some people who are studying their permanent.
But then what happens is that most of our courses require, either complete program moves.
Yeah, complete program.
Even in these programs, nowadays programs are very interdisciplinary. If you have 1 or 2 courses from other departments, again, you need to do. So we are planning, particularly for Jhajjar campus. But Abu Dhabi is a standalone campus. So the students who are admitted through JE, they pay the same fees as Indian students, no additional fee. And they are also given additional scholarships for allowances to stay in Abu Dhabi and an annual return fare to come to India. And this is all coming from UAE government, not our money. That is Voto by design, This is iconic to IIT Delhi, correct? That roof, if you see, in fact, all the campuses, if you see Sonipat campus and Abu Dhabi campus, that hyperbolic paraboloid roof, hyperbolic paraboloid, which on the Dogra Hall is replicated at all the places.
See, our teacher civil, Dr. S.C. Ahuja,
Uh,
was the designer.
Designer for this kind. So the moment you see a building with this architecture, you can say it's an IIT Delhi. So we also have now a lot of international collaborations, though not many students, but a lot of exchange programs and students joint research projects. Like these are some of the glimpses of international activities which we have with MIT. We have students coming from there and staying here for some time, doing joint boot camps, then PhD level exchange programs, etc. We do have with some of the best universities. So, but there are also challenges, all this expansion, etc. One is that since institute is now 60 plus, most of the space is a constraint and aging. We are actually now going for big constructions, both inside IIT Delhi as well as in the other satellite campuses. Our government funding has not increased, but the students have increased. So the ratio is decreasing. Is kind of a thing.
Just one question. What's the fees charged for each student?
So undergraduate students per semester, undergraduate students have to pay 1 lakh rupees. And almost 2/3 of the students don't pay the fees.
Getting scholarships.
Lot of scholarships and scholarships in the sense ki government doesn't charge a tuition from certain category of students. So that is one thing. And also, if your family income is up to 5 lakhs annum, so you get a 2/3 fee waiver. So you only pay 60,000 for the year.
As I remember, we used to pay 100 rupees,
Yeah.
including mess charges.
I said,
When we started, it was for 40 rupees.
one.
And when we left the hostel, it was 60, if I remember, 60 rupees.
Yeah.
per month.
So now if you ask me, what does it cost for a student to fees plus hostel, everything in 1 year is about 3.5 lakh rupees. So if you have, I don't know, parents have to spend that kind of a money. But only thing is ki up to 1 lakh, everything is free, family income. Even hostels are given free, no tuition fee. Up to 5 lakh, 2/3 is waived off. 1/3 we have a lot of scholarships to give from alumni, etc. Now we have also covering people whose income is from 5 to 9 lakhs through scholarships. A lot of alumni scholarships are now available. We give anything like 400 scholarships annually to students. One of the good thing is ki I think when you were students, probably a lot of people who used to come were from middle class. We now have a lot of students who come from very low income families, like because there is also a reservation for people with a low income, which is there, and we get like 300, 400 students every year who can't pay the fees.
Only all are same category.
No, I think reservation was there, but only thing 60. 22.5 was there for long. Now that 22.5 has gone to almost like 60%. Common. Everybody is common. Remember, entrance exam is common. So they all have to qualify to come to IIT Delhi. And Delhi and Bombay being highly ranked among students, we also get best in each category, whatever it may be. So we said that. बुला लो. Let's call the director. So other thing which is also is ki as the numbers are increasing and the infrastructure is not keeping pace, we're also trying to see that students get the same experience as yours. Hostels are not in the same condition because the places like double bedrooms now have a 3 people. So it actually makes, it's not the same experience like 2 people in a bedroom.
Hostels are compulsory even now?
No, in fact,
In our times, they were compulsory.
it was compulsory, it was removed. Now for 2,000 students, we are not able to provide accommodation. They stay in the city and come. It's even though they want to stay in the hostel, but we don't have accommodation to give. So we give accommodation to all the UG students, undergraduates, everybody gets. All the women students get it. But the postgraduate, masters and PhD students, sometimes they have to stay outside. So these are senior male students.
May not have to live here.
They know if they are in certain kilometer range, then they actually come from the city. I think otherwise they are, but generally they are associated with one hostel and others.
Very few double room marriage.
Now I think a lot of double rooms are there in the new hostels, etc. Because
Or not single room.
Hmm.
I think when we joined first year,
Oh.
double room, Second year onward, we got single.
Actually, when we
Yes.
joined, there was no accommodation in
Ah.
Himachal and
First year, double.
colleagues of they give us single room double. But they were in Aravali and other hospitals.
There. So the 5 hostels which came later had double.
All in they were single.
Means in
Director
medical,
को
we
बोला.
single
Single room.
where double occupancy.
Double occupancy. But here they were double rooms.
The second year onwards, we were always single room.
Yeah, then they were single.
No. तुम बोल दो. So one other this thing is also that as we said, there is a lot of diversity. So we, in fact, one of the good things which has happened is we have every undergraduate class has 20% girls. So, no, it is by design. So every class, first year to fourth year, all branches will have necessarily 20% girls. Girls, which is there. So right now our we have 25% of the students on campus are female students, because we also have a PG ratios are more there. So anywhere like close to about 4,500 to 5,000 girl students on the campus.
But if girls quota remain unfulfilled,
Hmm.
so then what do you do?
Oh, actually, it doesn't happen that way, because the number of people who actually qualify is very large. Seats are very, very limited. So particularly for IIT Bombay and Delhi, it's very unlikely that it will not be filled. Maybe it may happen for the next set of institutes, NITs and newer IITs. But IITs generally get filled, all of them.
So now, this quotas and reservation and diversity, how is that impacting the recruitment of the faculty? Because those quotas don't apply only to the students,
Mhm.
they also apply to the faculty.
Faculty.
How are you succeeding in overcoming it?
Yeah, so I think what happened is we are still don't have those ratios which we are supposed to have. But I think lot of our students who are joining, irrespective of whatever is the category, many of them are now going to higher studies and doing PhDs in the best universities and returning. So if you really look at our faculty, 650, 1/4 of our faculty are our own students. Okay. And earlier it used to be mostly PhD students, but now many of them are undergraduate students who did PhDs from the best universities and have returned. So that profile has changed. And once you have that type of education and this thing, because since we have been training people in various categories for many years, 50, 60 years. So we also have that pool of people who are available with very high merit to recruit. So we are not compromising on the merit because there is a.
If I'm not mistaken, the quota at the faculty level applies not in aggregate,
Hmm.
it applies at each grade of the faculty. People, let's say, at the university.
I think slowly we are working.
To reach that level.
So one of the discussion which is there is how are you managing reservations at a faculty level? Students, it's understood. So let me introduce Professor Rangan Banerjee, Director IIT Delhi.
Till 2019, there was we were exempt from reservations in the faculty. In 2019, a decision was taken by the government that we should have reservations, and we went through identifying a process. We made the process where we took it through our board, we took it through some discussions. We in 2024, I mean, this year itself, we have started creating a slightly modified process. The initial process, what we had is, after 2019, we had a number of special drives where we did recruitment for reserved candidates. And but we did not create any roster or percentages or things like that. We decided to separate out the two things. That means we are doing now reservation only at the entry level. And we said that we will have merit-based promotions. So when we did this, what we did is earlier we used to have a rolling ad where faculty would apply and even our internal faculty would apply. Now we have made it so that our initially the 600 or so faculty members who are there, they are going through a different process, very similar to this open process where we have this. And the rest of the things which what we've done is we advertise, and when each advertisement, so we do have a backlog in if you look at the numbers, but we have not made any specific quality relaxation. So we are making efforts to do that. And then of course we have to defend. The numbers are increasing, but the numbers are still very small. So we have been called, I mean, I've been called to parliamentary committees, to things. We defend our process and then how we work. So this is the way in which we are doing. So we have now separated out a process, and then we also try to make sure that, because we have an internal shortlisting and then a member, a selection panel, which is basically at the national level. And that internal shortlisting, we try to make sure that we have another process of overview to see that we are giving a broad chance to all the candidates who are from the reserved categories. We have also we've started a new process where we are doing a workshop for leadership in academics, and we try to get good PhD students from across the country who are from reserved categories and give them some inputs 1 week training in a proactive way for research. So it is a difficult thing, but we are trying to balance both the national goals of ensuring representation as well as quality. But in any case, we have never taken something which is, we've not filled up saying that this number is, there are unfilled seats. And we are defending those unfilled seats, but we are trying to also see that the funnel increases in terms of quality. So it is a difficult job, but we have to balance both the things. And this is part of our, yeah. So any other way? This is, of course, a tricky thing. And, it's not just in our country. Everywhere there is when we talk about quality and representation, both have to be considered, and you have to do it in a balanced way. The question is, if we have a reasonable time frame, one can do it. If you can't, if you want to do it immediately, you do not have enough good people to do that. So that is something which we have to explain to people, because there are people who have not got selected, and so I have been to commissions where someone has said that IIT Delhi has been unfair, and we have to express. So we have to show that this is a process, and it is not a person, it's a person independent process, and we have this. Actually, the point is, if you are doing things based on some logic and you are able to explain most, we can get by. Yes, we can get by. So I think, yes, there are, and if you do that, then I think generally because of the institute's reputation, I think more or less we are, to an extent, we are left alone. But there are questions asked, and we have to defend. And we have to defend it based on some logic.
In fact, what is applicable to IIT Delhi is applicable to all IITs and applicable to AIMS also.
Yes, that is true. But somehow IIT Delhi is more under the radar. So finally, many things are happening in all IITs, but who will be called is a IIT Delhi director. And I don't know why that is the center of power. It is maybe because of our location. Right, I don't know something.
Yeah, Professor Banerjee, I have two other questions. One, while all said and done, IITs as a whole do very well,
Yes.
in terms of educating and in terms of whatever
Yes.
their missions are. But at the same time, engineering education in the country as a whole remains quite dismal. The standards of that, or bulk of the people graduating, at least from what I hear from industry sources, are not really employable. So, do you see that the IITs should also have a mission of somehow bringing the average standards higher? It's not just enough to have good IIT graduates, because all said and done, those are a small fraction of the total graduates. You have maybe hundreds of thousands of other graduates coming from schools which don't do such a good job. What do you do to solve the bigger problem, not just for the IIT students? And the second related question would be that while Delhi, Bombay, and Madras, because of their reputation, may still be able to make progress on these diversity quotas and inclusion, what would happen to the other 20 IITs? Because you would sort of, in some sense, make their life even more difficult, because they would have nothing left to choose from, but still subject to the same quotas. So how do you see the way out of it?
Not an easy question to answer. The first one that you said, the ministry also tells us to do this. What we have is with other engineering colleges, with NITs and others, we do help in terms of providing mentorship. There are many national hubs that are housed in IIT Delhi. We have a hub and spoke model. So we have other engineering colleges and then do that. We are doing leadership development and training program for faculty members also, again, given by the ministry. We help if someone wants to do, lab development and other things, our faculty members are helping. We have in summer, we have a research internship for faculty members from science and engineering colleges. And it is something where they don't have to pay anything, but there's a selection. So we can take only about 40 candidates. So that's another thing, quality improvement through PhDs and others. So we are doing some steps. We can list out some of these things, but whatever we are doing is not is small compared to what is required in the country. And the ministry also asks us these questions, but I think it's a balance. So I think that is, it's a tricky thing. Yes, sir.
Concern to hear when you say that budgeting overall is impressed for all that we have expressed here in terms of our ranking, in terms of the students who are coming here and the many faculty that we put. The subject should read and understand that some are related for much higher budget.
Yes, that is true. We do require much higher funding, but it is also true that compared to other government institutions, we get much higher funding. So it's a very tricky thing, because I've seen the overall presentation of the ministry, and very clearly we get. So I think we do need higher funding, but I think we need to find ways in which we are able to attract more funds from industry, and we get more funding from line ministries where we make an impact through our research and innovation. Because I don't think orders of magnitude very significantly we will be that the government will be able to give the kind of funding that we sort of need. We need, I don't know if Professor Rao gave you an indication. See, we are in the heart of the city, and of all the IITs, we are the best located. right? We are absolutely 20 minutes from anywhere, even though you go to the airport or the center of Delhi. So but we have the smallest campus, 320 acres of the larger IITs, and we are in the fly zone. So we have to and our infrastructure, if you go to the hostels, infrastructure is really crumbling. We have to demolish and rebuild the hostels and the blocks. We are going to make a plan for this, and this is a long-term plan, but we need of the order of 2,500, 3,000 crores for doing this. Once we articulate this, we'll have to then figure out how to move forward. Because usually what happens in all of this is we all, each of us, like a director has a 5-year tenure. Everyone has a short-term time frame. You do a few buildings, you do a few new things, and then you forget. The next one, it's all incremental. We have to have that long-term vision. And we are planning within the next year or so to create that vision. And then we appeal to government, appeal to society, appeal to alumni, and then we will get combination. Hmm. Yes. Yes.
Only by every road we end the connection.
Yes.
We have to
Yeah.
want to come from
RK sector 3.
RK.
We used to walk down up to
the
the.
Nala going.
Right.
I have totally experienced that Nala. I have to go through this deep water.
Yes, sir. We have roughly, see, we are doing annually about 500 crores of research funding, of which I think about 50 to 60 crores is from industry. It's a relatively smaller number, but it's a growing number. There are other things where we have with government, where we have industry involved. And I think we are also getting some CSR funds from industry, but I think that we should be able to add another zero to that. And that's the kind of plan going forward.
The reasons that we're not picking up projects with the industry needs. Because if the industry has identified something, it can go with then the funding is not that.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I think this is, we have had historically both, fault is both with academia and industry. Historically, there's been sort of two separate corners. And also industry wants a ready-made solution. So now that is changing with many of the industries. So I think, but we have to make more efforts on that. So that, because, we can go to a prototype, but that prototype, whether it is, whether it will actually immediately hit the market, and then we have the startups. But I think we are moving in the right direction, but probably we need to speed that up a little. Yes, yes, but that product to market needs a whole ecosystem. So we are working on it. We have a technology business incubator. We have about 100 startups here on our campus. We also run in Atal Innovation Center in Sonipat. So there also we have about 30 startups there. We've got these number of, now this year, we've been successful in getting 2 centers of excellence. One is the Center of Excellence for Quantum Materials and Devices. And the other one is Center of Excellence along with AIMS on Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare. And each one is of the order of about, in the next 4-5 years, about 300 crores. And this will be there are industry partners, etc. So these are large government schemes, which there was a national competition and we succeeded in that. So, yeah. We have a 60,000 plus alumni, and we have a lot of goodwill amongst alumni. We have not been able to translate a lot of that goodwill into too much of resources. And comparatively, Bombay and Madras have had little bit more success in that. I do not know the reasons why. We're trying to sort of figure out. We have now about a corpus of about 400 plus crores, and we have some more commitments or pledges. I think another 200 crores, right? 600 something crores. Typically, what we do in this is we are only using the interest from that endowment for our purpose. So it's a useful amount, but it's not very large compared to our, just to give you a sense of our total income expenditure annually is about of the order of about 1,500 crores. So if you want to really take the interest and make a difference, we need a corpus of the order of about 10,000, 15,000 crores. We are far from that. And if you compare with Harvard and other universities, but anyway, it's a growing thing. So I think there are a number of things where we can use, and it need not be only funding. I think alumni, we can get alumni help in terms of ideas, in terms of linking with corporates and government institutions and the government. And I think, yeah, so we need to look at it in that fashion. We've had Anant Yardi has funded our School of AI, and that is a donation of about 75 crores. We've had our the sports complex, which was funded again by Saurabh Mittal. So we have a few such projects, but mainly we've had chairs and fellowships, high visibility, demonstrable things from alumni which are there. Are I think we need many more of those. So we'll have to. I think we are working on many of those things, and I think yeah, and basically there are many different baskets. It's not necessarily only the large ones. Even small things can help. And we've now created a scheme where we are going to support undergraduate students who, if they do some research and they want to go and attend an international conference, we are providing some funding for that. We are going to look at upgradation of the teaching labs. We are doing a complete curriculum review. So we've got some additional space we've got in RK Puram, just opposite, there's this flyover and then the CNG pump. Just next to that, we've got about a small piece of land. We want to develop a international students hostel and a guest house over there. And that's another thing where we would like to do. Our infrastructure is a challenge because, we are Sarkari, so we use CPWD and things are not the timelines and all that slip. So there are things I have seen in Madras and in Bombay, a few examples where they have got things which are completely funded and actually implemented in a different fashion by alumni. They've got IIT to do something and they've got private. So there are many possibilities, I think. Yes.
See, in most universities, all graduates are changed throughout their life.
Right.
And this need not be large.
Yes. Yes.
But, perhaps ideally would make a beginning.
I think we can.
It's graduates. Yeah, so maybe everyone is not TRD.
You're right.
But
No, everything adds up. It's yeah. Absolutely, everything adds up, and I don't think we should, I mean, I think it's the, and also The other thing is we've had alumni also helping us in a variety of ways. We've had alumni, mentoring young students. Very important because, one of the things is students having direction, wellness, mental health is a big issue. And, they listen more to faculty members than to alumni rather than faculty members. Faculty members, they listen to their peers, they listen to. So we've had this thing where alumni are spending time talking to the young students. We've also had just before placement, a lot of stress is there with students. So again, advising students before placements, again, that we found that to be. So I think these are all, we had our uh, group of alumni who have been involved in, uh, startups in venture capital. We asked them to review our incubation and venture capital system, and they came up with a set of recommendations. Then we said, this all looks fine, help us implement these. So we had a alumni actually starting now a venture studio, which was very, very successful. Lots of our students signed up for it, and we are now looking at taking that forward. So I think, alumni are have the interests of the institute, and I think it is good to engage, and we have a number of modes of engagement with alumni. It's not just about money, of course, helps, but it's not just about the money. It could be in terms of time, it could be in terms of ideas, it could be in terms of connecting us to various things. And I think everything is.
If I may follow up on the role of the alumni and linking it the financing model, you rightly mentioned that it's unlikely that the government will cough up a lot more money, given the constraints and the multitudes of other priorities they must deal with. And similarly, of course, you're already doing, to promote the industrial collaboration. But on the cost recovery side, from the student body itself, Professor Rao mentioned that currently students may be covered 80–90% of that is covered through government, or students cover maybe 10–20% of the total cost of the education. We all recognize, certainly we can, based on our own experiences, that IIT education was a very valuable education. It multiplied our incomes multifold compared to what it would have been. So why is it not possible to think of a model where students, not in the immediate years when they are students, because many of them may not be able to afford it, but subsequently, in terms of almost contractual obligation, either through loan programs or some sort of cost recovery from the graduating students who make big. It should not be just, their willful, they're just on their willingness to contribute. It should be some almost obligatory that the students who have benefited in such a big way should be paying something back to the institution to make it sustainable. What about that sort of a model of, trying to recover more of the cost from the graduating students, and of course, as they become alumni?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. Whether you say voluntary or you make it mandatory and enforcing, see, because typically what happens is we see this as, we are creating people who go out into society. They provide value in different ways. Now, the question is, we don't recover all the costs from people. And so I'm not sure how in our system how one can mandate it, but the idea and thought is okay that we do receive, all of us. I have received my education from an IIT. And it is a subsidized education, and I have not paid all for it. So we pay back in different ways, but I think it's, the thought is good. I don't think it can be, I'm not sure in our system whether we can mandate it, put it as part of the contract that you need to pay back and such and such. And
Well, even building expectations.
expectation is, yes,
they should be doing.
I think it should be done in a softer way, but yes, we should probably.
Further to Mr. Gar's suggestion, I can say that if we are able to get income tax rebates on the donation,
That we have.
that is
we have.
already there.
Yeah, that is all there. I mean,
You don't get any benefit. New system, nothing is there.
I have just one question.
Yeah.
When we started, there were just about 5 IITs and now there are 20 plus.
23.
So 23. So how is the brand IIT, is it getting eroded or enhanced? Or what?
You see, I don't know. You know what happens is in these cases, for instance, different institutions, different size, different years. There are some commonalities, there are differences. Now you say University of California system. You have UC Berkeley, you have so many other UCs, but everything gets differentiated. So an IIT Delhi is differentiated from one of the newer IITs. And brand, etc. See, as an academic, we create value, we train our students, we train future generations, we create research, we create impact. Brand and other things is what media, and so I don't worry too much about that brand business, but I think there is a differentiation. So if you take a new IIT which is just starting, let's say IIT Goa or IIT Jammu and IIT Delhi, they are not treated as the same, but there are certain things which are similar because what is similar are our entrance processes, some of our governance processes. So that ensures a certain.
The quality of education and all, how do you ensure?
I mean, certain quality, it's done by each Senate. And, but then, there will be, of course, differences. The moment you see, point is that we started a set of, initially Sarkar committee mentioned it. We started with IIT Kharagpur started, there was the first 5 original IITs. Then the original IITs, based on our things, we never increased the numbers. So the aspiration of the country was that more people should get, and then more. These were sort of political decisions, and then it grew. So I think some elements of things have been ensured by virtue of the act and statutes. But then beyond that, there will be a difference. So I think it's I mean, dilution, non-dilution is not something we want to hold on to that and say only these 5. That's not possible in a country with the aspirations. Otherwise, we have to increase. Now we have 13,000 students. Are we willing to go to 25, 30,000 students? It's very difficult. And so I think but it's a question many people ask. Yes. And,
just to say that unlike 4 IITs, 61 was College of Engineering and Technology.
Yes.
We converted into 63.
Yeah.
But still that 5 IITs is a different brand from other IITs.
Yeah, of course.
They remain.
But there is no new concept like the Center of Excellence.
yeah.
They have designated 5 IITs as Center of Excellence.
We have actually now we have started a campus outside the country, right? We have started in Abu Dhabi, and so that's been it's very early days still, but it's a very interesting exercise. We started it because we were told to start it by the government. But having said that, it will be a good thing for us because this is something which was agreed upon by the 2 governments, and the UAE government is completely funding it. We started, the first program that we started is a master's in energy transitions and sustainability, funded by their oil company, Abu Dhabi National Oil Corporation. We've now started a BTech in energy and a BTech in computer science. and we are probably going to start a master's in AI. We are looking at themes which are of relevant there. We have a initial campus which has been reworked, and they have actually, they said, what is the physical thing which, you know, which IIT Delhi, when you say this is IIT Delhi, so we said it's the Dogra Hall. And so they've created a sort of something which is which mimics that when you enter. So if you are in the UAE, please do visit. It is a modern campus with an infrastructure which is really good, and then we are trying to have the quality we will. So I think, you know, it's like a startup. It's like doing certain things new. We are accredited over there. We have to work within their environment. It makes us look at things in a completely new way. Here we are, you know, we've been doing certain things for the last 60 years in a particular way, and we change a little bit, but we don't. So I think it will actually help us look completely differently. So yeah, we were initially we were a little hesitant, but right now we are seeing that it is going to be, and we will probably get a revenue stream from that coming into our campus here also. So that's yeah.
A lot of research happening outside.
Yes.
Now, best efforts. There will be opportunities to work together. One of the things the IIT team like, it's not long-term support. They would like to have a name to say that we're doing something right.
Right.
Some such mechanism whereby this thing is done on a more regular basis, virtually or the campus.
Yeah.
That is a great deal. And managing the gaps that are coming now compared to what's happening with the industry or other researchers.
No, absolutely, absolutely. There, I think we do a few things, but we could do more. What we have is we have created a scheme with our own funding, which we call it MFIRP. Basically, it's like multi-institutional faculty grant. So we have, let's say, with AIMS, we support our faculty members, and AIMS supports their faculty members, and we do projects. We have about 20 running projects in this, and then many of these projects lead to something which is larger. We have the similar thing with ILB, the Institute of ILBS. We have some with the ICAR. So multi-institutional kind of things we are supporting with our initial funds so that we get partnership.
For that.
Hmm.
There could be interactions.
Interaction.
It could be bigger interaction. Which would indicate which way the projects need to go.
Sure.
And that would be helpful in terms of whether there's an opportunity, there's no cost.
Sure. Yeah, we are doing some of those. When typically we do this, people approach us and we have these discussions and then we go ahead. So we are doing a number of those things.
I think we'll set up the
Yeah, so actually the thing is we've not disengaged. I mean, typically what happened is in many of these places, initially when we set up, we were set up with the UK, and Imperial was one of the colleges.
We had a lot of faculty.
Yes, many of the initial, when you look at the history of any department, some of the original faculties and the initial heads were from the UK. The Kanpur was set up with US, and IIT Bombay with Russia. And but after the first initial years, and when they had these grants and others, after that, it was sort of, we still have a lot of links with UK, and we have agreements and we have research projects with Imperial. But I think we could think of doing something more, because I also believe that one of our alumnus is now the a equivalent of a chairman, board of governors of Imperial College. So I believe Mr. Banga he is like, they call it something else, but so we could strengthen that. We have collaborations with many of them. Absolutely. We do a number of research projects with them, and yeah, one of the things that we are trying to do in when we look at international linkages is we would like to have two-way linkages, and we would like to partner as equals, and that yeah, or there are many things where people want to do, but it's more like a colonial. We'll give you something, and we do this. So we are trying to do that, and I think many institutions are interested. Okay. Anything else?
Anything else?
Thank you very much. It's so nice to see all of you here. Absolutely happy to do that. Happy to do that. One of the things which we really would like is for alumni to engage with our students. And I think just to share your journey, your experiences and others, people get a sense of, I think we need to have, because, career choices, what they want to do, and also a sense of balance and perspective. All of this is something which our students need. And I think, yeah, so we are also looking at our curriculum. We have to find ways to excite students in the classroom, and that is a big challenge. It was always a challenge. I mean, I'm sure you remember people have fond memories of the hostel, but of the department, people have different kinds of memories. Yeah. So yeah. I see. Right.
I think just to
See,
remind
the
that
batch, your batch size must have been, I don't know, how big was the batch? 200. Today we have a batch size of 1,200. So that scale, we lose a little bit of that personal touch. And we are trying to now see in our curriculum to at least see that in each year, at least one course, like we do certain things, we are also trying to see how we can do learning by doing. So this is one of our alumni, which batch that make us 97 batch has funded us to make a space where, anyone can come and any student can come and, you want to fabricate something. We have a facility which is open 24/7 where they can. So we are trying to do a number of things, but I think we need to do more to sort of excite students and enable the learning experience.
just
And
to
large numbers, what happens now? It becomes, many of these things become routinized. We do things in a certain way.
just to tell you that during our time, Indira Gandhi was information broadcasting minister.
Hmm.
She came here. Then Professor J.V. Nardikar, the famous astrophysicist, he came here, and that Shakuntala Devi also came. That time. Convocation also, but before that she came. Yes, sir, she had come. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. You can send me mail if you need any. I'll respond if you have any other ideas and such. Yeah.
whenever they impact their constituency, or you send a message to the financial system employees, and we would send a request message on our level that somebody should come.
Exactly. Firstly, I speak, Mr. Secretary, we can
We can do that.
We can do
We
that.
can do that.
We can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. We also had these, we have these stick dinners where faculty members go and student student teacher interaction council, it's called, go and spend time with the students in the hostel and have dinner with them. We were also trying to do a similar thing with alumni. So those who are interested can go to the hostels. We can follow up on that. That all helps because in an informal setting, sort of discussing is nice. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, just actually, I have to continue as per the program. Earlier I was the anchor. Now I am acting as a coordinator from 1968 batch. So I'll speak something. Then afterward, Mr. Kedia for 69 batch. See, first I thank the Institute and the Alumni Association for giving me the responsibility of coordinator for 1968 batchmates. On behalf of batchmates and their families present today, I thank the Institute for hosting the Diamond Jubilee celebration. I had a regular interaction with the Jyoti from the Institute, Shri Manish Jaiswal, President of Alumni Association, and Shri Satish Chauhan, Manager, Alumni Association, by way of emails, WhatsApp posts, and phone calls. My sincere thanks and best wishes to them. My sincere thanks and best wishes to members of the various teams who worked behind the scenes. It is nice that the visit for the batchmates to the latest technology setups like artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, environment, renewable energy, etc. has been arranged by the Institute. In 1968, after graduation, 10 of us joined Department of Atomic Energy in Bombay. After completion of our one-year training, we had placement in various units of the department like Bhabha Atomic Research Center, nuclear power projects, etc. Our training was basically on nuclear science and engineering, and most important subject was nuclear physics. I can recall that there was a term in nuclear physics that's called nuclear binding energy. It is energy required to remove fundamental particles like electron, proton, neutrons from the system. But here, today, my case is the opposite. For the last 3 months, I had to spend a lot of energy in form of calories in binding together all the batchmates and bring them here. It's a nostalgic day for some of the batchmates who are meeting each other after 56 years. Thank you all. Now I hand over the chart to my 69 batch friend, Shri Govind Kedia.
Thank you, Mr. Naran. Actually, we people 69 batch, somehow meeting regularly. So today I don't think many people has come.
But you have to meet us also.
So I think only about 6-7 of us has come here today.
Okay. Okay. Good number. I think compared to Golden Jubilee, our number has drastically reduced. But you are still very much reduced.
In our Golden Jubilee, there were a lot of people. In Golden Jubilee, there were about 60, 70 people has come in Golden Jubilee. At Golden Jubilee, but now afterward, I think they have. Yeah. Well, at that time, we were meeting nearly for first time after 50 years.
Yeah.
But now because we are meeting regularly now. After Golden Jubilee, we have become more a sort of a bonded batch.
Nice.
So today, not many people, they weren't. Then more or less, we have gone to us northeast. Just last night, we have come back. Many of us have come back only last night.
I see.
From
Nice.
after 9-day tour.
Okay, nice. So now this session is over. Now we'll move to that flag hosting area for group photographs.
Okay. Yeah. Make hair of
No, no, come back here.
Carry your bags at your risk. At your own risk.
होते थे मेरे
Last. Yes. His memory.